Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I wanted to do a tag video because I want to do something a little bit more fun and not so structured and informational. I want to do something, I don't know, just kind of a little bit easier and something more fun for y'all to watch. So today I wanted to do the perfect palette 2 tag. I actually did the perfect palette tag quite a long time ago. It feels like it actually probably wasn't that long ago, but I will link that down below. That was the first round of this tag, and they actually came out with the perfect palette 2 tag, and this was going around a while back, not so much anymore, but I just recently found the questions and I thought that it might be an interesting tag for me to do since I had done the first one. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. The first question is eyeliner, brush, or nothing, meaning that what would come with a palette, where some palettes will come with something. And for me, if it's going to be a nice brush, I would rather it come with a brush. I feel like the eyeliners that come in palettes are never very good. So if the brush is actually nice and nice quality, then I say a brush. And if it's not, if it's just going to be like a crappy brush, then nothing at all. The second question is a palette that you've hit pan on, and I actually only have hit pan on 2 of the eyeshadow palettes that I have, which should be telling me to stop buying eyeshadow. The first one that I've hit pan on is the Lorac Pro palette. This is the first one. I've hit pan on the taupe color and the cream color. These are just really soft eyeshadows. I feel like they're really easy to hit pan on because you can use a lot of them on accident, like dipping your brush into them. But I do love this palette. It's probably one of the best quality eyeshadow palettes that I have, and it's got really usable colors. So if you just need like one really basic palette, I would recommend this one. And then the other palette that I've actually hit pan on is the Skylark palette by Ellen Blair, and I actually have no clue what happened to their makeup company, but this is the first like high-end palette that I ever owned because I loved Blair so much. But I actually hit pan on this matte cream color here because that's something that still to this day, the matte creams are kind of like what I use the most. So I definitely used a ton of that shade before I started getting like more eyeshadow palettes. But I don't know, I feel like that their brand just kind of like went off the radar. I'm not sure what happened to it. Question number 3 is, what is your favorite Naked palette? And mine is definitely the Naked 1 palette. I never bought the Naked 2. I have the Naked 1 and the Naked 3, and I don't have the Naked Smoky either. But the Naked 1 is definitely more along the tone of the colors I like, with all the gold and bronzy kind of warm tone colors. Naked 2 is a little bit too cool tone for me, and I do like my Naked 3 palette, but it's not something that I get as much use out of as this one. So Naked 1 is definitely my pick of the Naked palettes. So the next question, question number 4, is what is your favorite holiday or limited edition palette? I have 2 for this. The first one is the Too Faced Everything Nice because it is honestly just still to this day the prettiest palette that I have. I think I mentioned this in the first palette tag. I don't actually use this as much as I should, but it has like tons of beautiful eyeshadows. Then it has 2 blushes, a highlighter, and the Chocolate Soleil bronzer. So it's like a really good multitasking palette, although it is a little bit big. But my main reason for it being my favorite holiday one is the packaging, because honestly it's just so pretty and girly, and still to this day I keep this one sitting out because I just think it's beautiful. And then my other favorite like limited edition type palette is this one from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it's the Shadow Couture World Traveler palette, and I'm pretty sure this was limited edition. I don't think they have it anymore, but I do really like this palette. It has like a really good assortment of different shades that you might not get in a lot of other palettes, like this really pretty bright blue, this green gold color, and just like this pink one. I think it's just really pretty, but it also has neutrals, so it can go in more of that like neutral zone if you want it to, and then you can work in a pop of the brighter color. So I don't know, I think that that's just a really beautiful palette, and I'm pretty sure this one was limited edition. Question number 5 is a palette that you would repurchase or that you wish you had a backup of. And for me, this is a no-brainer, and that is my Tartelette in Bloom palette. This is probably my favorite palette that I have currently. I love it so much. I think it's just truly the most beautiful assortment of neutral colors that I own. And I don't know, I just really like that one. I think it is so pretty. I feel like that these are just colors that I could use for the rest of my life and not be sick of them, so I definitely wouldn't mind having a backup of my Tartelette in Bloom palette. Question number 6 is a shade that you wish was sold individually. So I have 2 different shades for this one because there's 2 shades in 2 different palettes that I really love. The first one is from my Too Faced Peanut Butter and Jelly palette, and that is the color Nuts About You. It's this really pretty orangey brown color, and it's a little bit different than the peanut butter shade. I actually have this one in this palette and in my chocolate semi-sweet chocolate bar palette. So I have a couple of that one, but I really love this Nuts About You color. So I wish I had an individual one of that one. And then the other one is also along those same lines, but it's a bit lighter, and it's from the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye palette. And it's just this really pretty peachy transition color. I feel like that this is a color that if I had a single of, I would take that with any palette that I have, and this would always be my transition color because I really love this color of like a peachy tone. The last question, question number 7, is the wild card question, and it says to pick a question from the original perfect palette tag and just answer that again. And the question I'm going to pick is kind of negative, but it's the palette that you kind of regret purchasing. And the reason I'm picking this question is because I actually have a different answer this time. Last time I mentioned like a little drugstore option, but this time I actually have a palette that I spent a little bit more money on, and I hate to say that I regret purchasing this one because it definitely has some of the cutest packaging of any of the palettes that I have, but I just rarely reach for it, and that is my Too Faced Sugar Pop palette. And mainly my reason for buying it was these little macaroons all over it because I thought it was so cute and so pretty. But I actually probably haven't used this palette since like the first month that I bought it, which was like last year sometime. But it's a really pretty assortment of bright colors. I think the reason that I don't get use out of this is because of this brown right here that would anchor like any look that you would do. You could anchor it with this brown. It is actually the worst quality shadow that I've ever tried from Too Faced, and that's really strange because I would have thought that they could have definitely got the neutrals right in this palette because they have so many really nice brown eyeshadows in their chocolate bar palettes and in their other small like tin can palettes. But the shade Malted Milk Ball, that shimmery brown right there, is just really not good at all. And that makes it hard to kind of do like a more neutral look with this and then incorporate a pop of color, whereas that's how I would usually use it. And then also all of these highlight colors here have glitter in them. The Sugar Plum, which is purple, is the only one that's a satin finish. These other 2 actually have specks of gold glitter. So like I feel like the neutrals in this palette are definitely its weakest points, and that makes it a little hard for me to use, and I kind of regret buying that one. I hope you guys enjoyed this tag video. If there's any tags going around that you all would like to see me do, I would definitely be open to them. Just leave me comment down below letting me know what the tag is, and I'll try and find the questions for it. I really enjoy tag videos and watching other people's answers and seeing how they differ from my own or if they're the same. I really just like these videos, so I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I hope I'll see you in my next video. Bye.